Hello, I'm Dr. Rob Young. I'm an organisational psychologist and a coach at a consultancy called Talent Space. And I'd like to talk to you about giving constructive criticism. So the first thing you need to do when giving constructive criticism is perhaps to change your mindset, because a lot of people don't like to give criticism, thinking that it will be seen as a negative or hurtful thing. But think about it this way: if you were making a mistake, if you were doing something slowly or ineffectively, or if you were even annoying your colleagues or customers, wouldn't you want someone to point it out to you? So a useful thing to do is to think about constructive criticism as a gift. You are actually helping someone out if you deliver it correctly. So when you actually come to give your criticism, think about focusing on what you actually observed, what you see or hear, rather than implying that you can read someone's mind. For example, say that I believe that someone was being dismissive. I could say to them, "You were being dismissive in that meeting," but that person might actually think that I'm implying you were intending to be dismissive in that meeting, to which they might retort, "No, I was simply being passionate in arguing my case." And then we're getting into a debate about language as opposed to the impact of their behaviour. So a more useful thing to do is to report on what you saw. For example, I might say, "I saw you raising your hand and waving it around," or that you talked over our colleague Jane on 2 occasions. That way we can more quickly move on to discussing the impact of that behaviour rather than whether I'm claiming I know that person's intentions or not. Next, think about making it clear that you merely have a hypothesis about someone's behaviour rather than claiming that you know exactly what went on. So you might want to say something like, "I have an observation that I'd like to share with you, and I'd like to discuss what actually happened," rather than saying, "I saw you doing something wrong and I'd like to talk to you about how you can sort it out." Because what you want to do is open up a two-way discussion rather than make it seem as if you are about to issue a one-way reprimand. It can also be useful to sometimes set things into context by perhaps using a numerical scale. For example, if I'm coaching someone who is perhaps a little less confident and they've made a relatively minor mistake, I might say that on a scale of 1 to 10, your performance is actually pretty good. This issue is only a 3 or a 4, so don't worry about it too much. On the other hand, if I'm dealing with someone who is very confident and they've made a major mistake, but I'm worried that they may be overconfident or complacent about it, then I might say on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 means instant dismissal, this is actually a 7 or an 8. It's a very severe issue that we need to address. Finally, even though constructive criticism is delivered in the past tense, so it's talking about something that may have happened perhaps mere minutes or even months ago, what you ultimately want to do is move into the future tense. So you want to say, well, this is what we should be doing from now on, because when it's delivered properly, constructive criticism should really be about setting someone up for future success.